guys, welcome back to the Peace Street Podcast. Mr. Loa here.
It's your boy Pistol Pete.
Smokey Lonjas.
And we got a great special guest, man.
Yes, let's
None
go.
other than Alex Orosco,
That's right.
the Coahoma state champion softball
right,
team,
let's go.
Bulldogs, man. 3A.
Do that.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
You come to our podcast, you had to come up with a nickname. You can't mess up the introduction, man. Come on.
I don't want to take campeón because I'm sure that's able. I don't want to mess with that one.
That's perfect.
I'm not messing with that.
That's good.
Just call me Northside Alex.
Hi, Alex in the house.
That's what's
Speaking
up.
of Northside, I was talking to my wife and I was like, yeah, he's going to be there. She's like, yeah, I know him. We grew up together in the same neighborhood and stuff in the Northside. So that's pretty cool stuff, man. Love this Pake. I love to see Pake succeed.
Hell yeah, that's what's up, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, who'll start off, man?
I'm going to start off. No, let me start off with Coach because Coach is
That's
Coach, right? So Coach Bayan, right?
The tip is playing already.
Oh, yeah, we'll have a clip going on this.
Okay. So, Alex,
Yeah.
whenever you saw that catch, when Coahoma, I think it's the right field,
Right fielder,
right
yeah.
field, caught it. How was that feeling?
Honestly, man, it was a feeling of relief. All I could remember those 2 days was it was a beautiful blue sky. There was some white clouds. The sky was picture perfect, man. And when she caught that ball, when the ball went in the air, there was no doubt she was going to catch it, right? And I was hoping to celebrate, and go out there and celebrate with the girls, man. But when she caught that ball, all I could think about was, man, I wish my mom was here. To be honest
That's
with you,
awesome.
It was a beautiful blue sky, and that's all I could think about, man. And when they say family is everything, it really is, man. But you just kind of want that comfort. Luckily, my two youngest, Samuel and Lillian, were there, and I just hugged them like I've never hugged them before, man. Just a huge relief.
That's awesome, man.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
It really was, man.
Definitely.
And it just came. Those feelings just come, and it's just something you work hard for.
That's right.
And sometimes you just feel like you're by yourself. And growing up, your mom's always tell you, I'll always love you. I'll always be there. So it was awesome, man. It was a huge relief.
Just to kind of go off of that answer that you gave me, right? So earlier when you got here, we kind of talked about the year before, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of y'all might not know they were runner-ups last year, right? So that's something that nobody has talked about yet. But what was the sky like last year?
Man, last year was all fast and furious, man, and all I can think about was the after. It felt gray, it felt dark, it just didn't feel right. And then I think that's what made it so much more special this time.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It really is.
Awesome,
Man, getting second place, it still felt like you felt that like it would feel dark. Because I would have been happy as a coach, like, man, I got second place. I didn't get first, but I got second place.
It just, when you sit back and reflect, you're the second best team in the state out of, hundreds of teams, it is a big deal. But, for us at the moment, with the expectations we had, it just, we wanted first. But, it's okay. It's good. We got it now.
Man, definitely. You guys got a taste of it, went back, and we want it now. Give it to us. Yeah. That's what's up, man.
Ahora sí, échale Peter.
Man, I mean, I'm still thinking about, your description of the sky.
It was beautiful.
Right?
It was
So,
just a beautiful blue sky. It was picture perfect. And
it's like a lot of people don't describe, the weather.
It's just the little things that hit you, man. And you can't script your feelings, and that day all I remember thinking is just the blue sky. I was like,
definitely right.
I was like, this feels good.
I hear you.
Yeah,
You
man, awesome.
didn't care how hot it was.
No, I don't even remember that.
Because it was hot.
Maybe because I'm silly. Where was the game?
Austin, downtown Austin at UT.
Oh,
They
nice.
played
man.
at the
That's
softball
wonderful.
UT, at the
UT.
University of Texas Longhorn.
Did y'all have games in Coahoma?
Actually, we did. We had the game before state, the round before.
Yeah.
We actually we split with Lamesa. We had one game in Coahoma, and then we had one game in Lamesa.
Okay.
And the winner of us two would advance to Austin.
How was that in Coahoma?
Man, it was packed.
I bet so, right?
Oh yeah, packed, and it was loud.
Faces you ain't never seen before?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
But it's
Hey,
okay.
man,
Yeah.
so
I
you
know,
guys,
right? Bring it on.
the last time you guys won a state championship was 25 years, right?
1998.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
That's
1998.
Yeah.
So
Look at that, man.
it was
25
time.
years. Yeah, it was time, man.
So y'all ready with the question?
I'm not really ready. I'm curious about everything. Like, when did you decide you were gonna be a softball coach?
Honestly, well, let's go back to 8th grade, man. I was in 8th grade at Crockett, and we used to have some career classes and stuff like that. And I realized that I'm not good at selling things. I'm not good at science. I'm not good at math. So I was like, I think I want to be a teacher. So I went around and shadowed some teachers, man. And that's kind of when I kind of grew into the role, and I was like, I think I want to be a teacher, and
that's awesome.
And it was hard because, growing up in the north side, you don't really hear a lot of people go to college. So I did what I had to do, and I got to McMurray and I graduated. But all that to say this, when I first graduated from McMurray and I got hired in Big Spring as a baseball coach, I was a JV baseball coach, right?
Okay.
So then me and my wife had gotten married, and we have 2 older girls, and I was like, girls don't play baseball. So I started looking for a softball job, and it was actually, I don't know if y'all remember Ronnie Molina. Mm-hmm. He used to coach here here in Pecos, and he actually hollered at me, sent me a text, and we talked, and he had a softball job opening. And all he said was, "Hey, coach them hard.
Yeah.
Don't shoot them in a different." No, it was in Mathis by Corpus.
Okay.
By Corpus, and he goes, "Just coach them hard. Don't treat them any different." And man, I fell in love with the sport. It's different than baseball. It's just more passionate.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was in 2000.
I was going to say
that was
one of my questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. That was one of my questions. I was going to say, did you ever thought about changing to baseball?
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. But you started as a baseball coach.
I did.
And then you went to softball.
Yeah.
So it was having daughters that got you to change.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they grew up around the sport, and they played a little bit at Coahoma, but I mean, not to the level that those girls play.
Hey, did you excel in baseball?
No, I actually didn't play baseball.
You didn't play?
No,
right.
I was a track guy.
Let's go.
I was a track guy.
Track and football now?
Yeah,
the big difference now and then is that we didn't have a lot of crossover kids. If you did track, you did track. If you did baseball, you did baseball. And now you got kids that do everything. But I ran track here, and then I was fortunate enough to run 2 seasons at track at McMurray.
Nice.
Oh, dang.
Wow. I grew up as a track guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I wanted to ask you, man, since you won the state championship, man, has anything changed, man? Did you notice anything lately that's been changing?
My coaching friends are happy.
Yeah.
Because they understand the struggle, how hard it is. And then I got some other friends who are not coaches, and they're like, "Oh, dude, you what's it like? You feel like you're famous?" And I'm like, "No, dude. Like I still went home. Like the next morning, we drove home, and I still had to mow the yard. Like I still had chores.
Yeah.
So
That honey didn't shrink, did it?
Yeah. We don't. There's no Disneyland for us.
Man.
Are you sure you can go to Dairy Queen? Hey, have this free burger.
Yeah.
No, that's actually
championship here. You reserve that free burger.
Actually, Stripes is my place.
That's good.
When I walk at the Stripes in Coahoma, they treat me like royalty.
I like that.
Tacos Laredos, huh?
Yeah.
What's up, man? Yeah, man. It has to be super exciting, man. I mean, like I said, we were talking about a little while ago, man, how that's like the holy grail for anybody, man. You know what I mean? Like usually we see those things in behind glass mirrors, man. But as like you as a player in high school, man, you knew that was the goal, state championship. Yep. Now that you're a coach, man, and you fulfilled it, man. Wow, that has to be an amazing feeling.
It really is, and even for me, I text people all the time, other coaches, and they're like, "Man, did you ever think that would happen?" And the answer is no. I mean, that's something that you hear about Metroplex schools. They win state. Us in these little West Texas towns, man, we just get to hear about it. But,
right.
It all goes back to hard work.
Right.
And it sounds like a cliche, but if you work your butt off, man, if you put a little bit of work every single day, it adds up. It adds up. And if you practice when other people are not practicing,
there you go.
I mean,
that's the key.
It just stacks on top of each other. So it's something you dream about, man. And then every once in a while, next thing you know, you're winning playoff games, and you're there.
You're there, man.
It's just awesome. A lot of hard work.
So going off of that, right? So Coach Bayon, you kind of answered the question that he had, and I should have asked it before you answered. But so he says, first off, tell him congratulations and how proud I am of him, and ask him how it feels to be in a fraternity of so few coaches with a state championship.
And shout out, Coach. Appreciate you asking that. And man, it's a euphoric feeling. I do remember the next like 3 mornings, man. I would wake up in my house and I'm thinking, "Where's my medal? I want to see it and make sure I'm not dreaming."
Yeah,
man, I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to wake up and be like, "Man, I had this dream. We won state." I just wanted to make sure it was real. But it feels amazing, man. It just to reach that level that so few people reach. Everybody
Right.
hears about it, but man, it's a lot of work, and I think
Most
that's the relief, the amount of hard work.
Man, hard work.
Hard
So
work.
just to finish off his statement after the question, right? So he said, we all coach for that ultimate prize, and most of us fall short of it. He accomplished it in a few amount of years and has many more to look forward to. So he said, that's awesome. Keep up
Yeah.
the great work.
And a lot of man, as a coach, you guys know this, man. They preached it to us when we were playing. As a coach, you're only as good as your players, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to our Coahoma girls. We love you guys. I love you guys to death. I'll never forget y'all, man. They have a bond like you would not imagine, man. And the cliche, unity beats talent when talent doesn't. Man, that is 100% true, man. I mean, these girls, they have a unity, they have a bond with each other, they love each other, they hang out with each other all the time. And it's
Family.
It is family.
Wow, that's awesome.
It really is, and I love them to death.
Wow, that's
That's
awesome.
good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
That's good.
That's what's up. So
Well-
you got anything, Smokey?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So when you won state, right?
Yeah.
How many calls did you get and say, "Come
Dude.
coach for our team"? And I want to know who are they.
Yeah.
I want to know who. I want to know who reached out to
100
you.
messages when you got home.
I better hit Beckles.
I can't reveal, but it started last year. Last year when we lost, 3 of them, boom, 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 right away.
Wow.
And then this year, it's, hey, coach, congratulations. Can we interest you, in maybe an interview or visiting? And man, it's hard to say no, but when you have such a good thing going, you just want to keep it because
Right.
the grass is green where you water it, man. And
Right.
the grass ain't always
Definitely.
greener. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
And we love it at Coahoma. My kids are growing up there. My youngest loves it. We've been there 7 years, and I mean, there's no other place I'd rather be, man.
It's awesome, man.
Good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here
There
we go.
you go. I hear it.
But I can't name schools.
No. See, I had him this close.
Yeah.
I had him this close.
There was one from John, man. He was asking, what are your core values as a coach, man?
You know what, man? As a coach, number one, when I approach a team, I will not be outworked. Whether I'm facing you as an opponent or you're on my staff or I'm coaching a team, man, one of my core values is I will outwork everybody. I'm always going to be ready. My goal is to always be there before the kids be there, and I'm always going to be there after the kids get there, man. Aside from that, treat them all fairly.
Yeah.
Make sure they love each other and
Yeah.
don't let them be mean to each other.
Yeah,
But number
man.
one,
Sure,
man,
you're right.
I will not be outcoached. Case in point, this month, the playoffs, the softball playoffs in baseball, it's only about a month, man. The month of May. It starts at the end of April, but it only goes to start of June. So it's about 6 weeks, man. In those 6 weeks, me and another guy that I work with, we put in 3,700 miles
Oh,
of travel time to go scout opponents,
Okay.
to go
yeah.
scout in person.
Yep.
I'm not watching video. I'm
Yeah.
not asking
Right
other
there,
coaches.
Mhm.
I am sitting in the front row
yeah.
watching you play your game because next week we're going to play you.
Yep.
That's right.
And then it just, is it hard? Yeah. It's a lot of late nights, man, especially in the month of May. But that's
Do you
just part of
consider
it.
that like old school way of doing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
what's up.
It is.
I'm
It
not
is.
gonna.
That's
Yeah,
old school.
I'm not gonna ask other coaches. Hey, tell me about this team, or tell me about. No,
You're gonna
I'm
show
gonna
up,
be there.
yeah,
I'm
right
gonna show
here.
up in person.
Yes,
What'd your
sir.
wife say about it?
And then that's a big thing, man. Is kudos to my wife. I love her, obviously, but she's got to be along for the ride too.
She's coming.
Well, sometimes she comes, sometimes she stays home, but she's 100% on board.
That's good.
That's
awesome.
and sometimes she'll ask me, "Hey, are you gonna go watch this team?" Well, I wasn't planning on it. No, you need to go watch this team.
Oh.
Well, man, we're going all the way east of Dallas.
She's
Yeah.
already like thinking.
Yeah, she's like,
let's go.
no, you need to go.
Yeah.
Like, you need
That's
to go
good.
watch this team.
Oh,
So,
damn.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
she is 100. I mean, that's a coach's wife, man. She's got to
Yeah,
have
shout
your
out.
back.
There you go,
and-
man.
and she's
Hey,
always there.
props to
So
you.
Good wife.
Awesome.
you got to have one.
Good, good.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So there was two, okay? There's two questions. One of them, it was a funny one. They just say, Erica Sparsa, just say, hey, I don't have a question, but me and my husband want to say hi to him. We
Yeah.
just want him to say hi back to us.
What's up, Esparza's? That's Erica and
And
Jacob. Yeah.
Yeah.
I follow along with them. They have a daughter
Yeah.
in San Antonio, right?
Okay.
She's
kicking butt right now.
yeah, man, she's kicking butt. So
Yeah.
keep it up. Keep up the good work.
And then here comes a question. wanted to keep anonymous. Ask him. Okay, yeah. Ask him which girl from Pecos or Pecos connection does he thinks can excel at a college level in the coming years.
Like a high school kid.
I'm assuming that's what he
I
means.
don't,
High school.
you know, my niece is putting a lot of work, man. I don't know. I mean, I know some kids, right? If I follow them when they play travel ball in Midland, and I get to see them there when I'm following the Coahoma girls. But um, anybody's got a chance, man. You don't need, a lot of skill. To give you a case in point, the team we beat in Austin in the finals, their pitcher was pitching 52 miles an hour. And if to give you the reference, that's rec league. That's rec league pitching, and they're in Austin at the state tournament. So honestly, skill when it's just about work. You just got to work. Anybody that's willing to put in the work, the sky's the limit.
Awesome, man. Hey, but with that being said, anybody that's watching right now, man, are there any tips you would like give them when it comes to that, like training or anything like that? What to look into?
Always be willing to work. This is my 15th year. This is my 15th year in coaching and teaching, and my 9th overall in softball, man. And every year, every summer, I go to Arlington, Austin, and I watch clinics. I listen to speakers, and I always go, man, and I sit there like a student, and then I listen to them and I ask questions, and I sit as if I don't know nothing, and I try to find something that I can use back with our team. And
awesome.
and I always, man, that's one thing that I'm always trying to be like. Always keep learning. Always keep learning. Never feel like you know it all, because there's always something to get better at.
That's awesome, man. That's the way to do it, man. Always
Coach Williams,
progress.
Junior, remember Coach Williams? Yeah, Junior Williams. So he wants to know, how do you plan to repeat?
Let them. Well, there's a couple of things, right? The traditional way, New Year, we haven't won anything, go out and prove it again. But honestly, man, I'm from the little bit of mentality of show it off, talk a little bit of crap, walk in with a little swag to your opponent's field, and just say, hey, come beat us.
Yeah.
You think you can beat us? Come beat us.
Sure.
Now, with that, the behind the scenes is, if we know we're going to be carry that swag, we know we're going to be a little cocky, we better be able to back it up.
Exactly.
So every day at practice, boy, we better be ready to back it up. So if I like the swag, I'll encourage our girls, and our girls kind of have a little bit of swag, right? But the flip side is, if you're going to have swag, you better back it up. And it starts at practice. So I'm big.
Practice.
Practice.
That's right, man.
Let's go.
And I'm thinking,
Practice makes perfect.
I'm thinking, like, a lot of times, like when I read the questions, right? We read the questions before you came, and I always wondered, man, why they're asking those questions. So I'm assuming the reason why he has that question, and I'm not saying that he talked to him or nothing, but I'm assuming that he probably asked that question because you're like the next hated Tom Brady. Everyone's coming after you
In softball, yeah.
But in softball, they want to take the champ down.
Oh yeah. And that's, I feel that.
So you have to come up with a plan.
Oh yeah.
To be a repeat.
Right.
And the only plan you can do is prepare and practice.
Right.
I'll give you an example. This year, we went to Austin and we got second last year, right? Man, this year every single kid we played on the other team wanted to beat us. Sometimes when you play a team, sometimes they don't care if they get a hit or not. They walk, they strike out. This year, dude, every team we played, every single kid on the other team wanted to hit a home run against us.
Yep.
Every single kid wanted to steal base against. You know how hard it is when everybody wants to beat you?
Right, bro.
Yeah, every team, but every player on that team wanted to beat us.
Well, that's a notch on their belt, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
That's the hard part, man. We're in a scrimmage, and a scrimmage is like a practice, and the other team is going
hard,
100%.
and I'm going, wait a minute.
It's just a scrimmage.
And then we woke our girls up. It was like, wait, are we scrimmaging or practicing? And I said, this feels like a game. This feels like a game.
You take every game like
you got to practice like it's on, right? That's what it comes down to.
So that took about a month to acclimate, and then once we acclimated to the noise and to everybody wanting to beat us, man, we were just rolling.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
You got all returners coming next year? How many people leaving or what?
We lost 2 girls, 2 seniors, 2 starters, all state players, a shortstop and a center fielder.
Oh man, that shortstop's
huge. I mean, you know how big a shortstop is.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably it's an important piece of the puzzle. So we got a couple of girls.
Center field too. That's captain
Center
out
field.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of girls that we have in mind, and then give everybody a shot and see what they come up with.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And because you're losing 2.
Yeah.
They already released the ranking. You guys are ranked number 1.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Do you think that's the reason why you're ranked number one, because you're only losing 2 seniors
Probably. I mean, you got
and everybody's coming back?
I don't know how they do rankings, but I mean that's got to be part of it. I would think.
Yeah.
So
True. That's
Awesome.
man.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
just losing
it's a
2.
loss,
Two.
right? A loss, but that's not a big loss, man. Like you're getting your team back.
yeah, I mean,
Wow.
they're all state players. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you lose
definitely.
2, and one of them's a leadoff. Our shortstops are leadoff.
Okay.
So I mean,
Yeah.
leadoff is
Someone,
important.
someone's gonna have to
definitely.
fill some big
Somebody's
shoes.
gonna have to fill some shoes,
Let's go.
man. So
Let's go, ladies. Step up.
I got
go.
no doubt our
Bulldogs.
girls. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got no doubt our girls can do it. I don't know if you people know, but our JV went undefeated.
Yeah, that's what Smokey was talking
Yeah.
about.
Our JV went 19-0.
Yeah, so you got
Yeah.
good players
I
coming
know.
up, man.
So when we
Now,
got,
I googled the whole thing, man. I even saw JV beating the number 1A
Yeah.
state champ.
yes, yeah,
the JV. The JV beat
the team that won stayed in 1A. Hermely, they wanted a game, and,
So
and
they-
you know,
They beat them in JV.
we knew our varsity wouldn't play them, but I
You
said,
guys
hey,
are stacked, man, for
Yeah.
a couple of years,
that's
bro.
our,
Yeah.
our JV beat them
That's
well.
cool,
So
that's cool.
you know, and here's the thing, you know, talking about what tip would you give a kid? Practice with the best. Do not shy away from competition. You know, our JV kids, they're skilled, man. But when we get to practice with our varsity girls that are all staters,
Yep.
it only makes you better.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Do not shy away from competition ever.
You
Yeah.
got to, right? You got to push yourself.
You
Yeah,
have
exactly.
to.
Yeah,
See
you
where you
have to push
stand and then
yourself
keep
every time.
pushing.
You have to.
Man, that's freaking cool.
That's awesome, man.
You haven't seen a ring yet?
No, I mean, there's you know what's crazy, and I never knew this because nobody ever talks about it. When that third out was recorded, man, and I'm shedding my tears and hugging my kids, we give our high fives to the other team, and then I come back and there's 2 dudes there. They're like, "Hey, coach, we need to size you for a ring," and they open a box and there's a bunch of rings in there.
Right
Right,
away.
I was like,
right then and there, huh?
I was like, "Wait a minute, the game just ended," and they're like, "Yeah, what size of ring do you want?"
Going on this.
And I was like,
Nice.
"Holy cow!"
It was like quick.
it's quick, and then the emails come in. Everybody wants to give you a pamphlet, but no ring yet. We'll design one, and then we'll get one out.
Nice, man. That's cool.
But that was
I think it's right here.
Fast, bro.
Hey, I think it's right here.
He got the connections. He had
Yeah.
the feel and everything.
No, it's my wedding ring, man. It's my wedding ring.
That's important. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. Man, I bet just it's been hectic. Not really.
It's been busy. What's today, Thursday, and this is my first free day of the week. I had some stuff early in the week, and then we had a banquet, our sports banquet for softball, because every team has a banquet. Remember those
Okay,
banquets,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Where you recognize your kids.
Oh no, the fight. Sorry,
And
guys.
you recognize these kids.
Mistake.
Well, since we were still playing, the rule is don't give out any awards until everybody's out of the playoffs. So since we made it all the way and we didn't get to give them any awards, we had our banquet on Tuesday, and then we had a parade on Wednesday. And then
Nice.
today is the first free day.
First free day. Well, I'm glad we got you.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
coming.
I think we got
Appreciate it
one
so
more
much.
question. One more question. This came from Coach Flores. Coach Flores. He said, ask him what he took from Pecos that he still practice
Yeah.
and preaches every day. Every day.
Don't go easy on these kids. I do remember when we're out there in the 100 whatever degree heat, in football,
Yeah.
Yep.
and
Definitely.
man, they don't take it easy on you. With Coach Flores and with Coach Williams and Coach Grubbs, and we're out there, going up against the varsity and Daniel and Tony and all them, man, and even the guy from Fort Davis that moved in, the big
Oh,
guy.
big Tex.
Oh my gosh,
Big
man!
Tex.
Just going up against them dudes, and
Shout
nobody
out
felt
to
sorry
Justin.
for you,
Yeah, no
and that's
kidding, right.
but that makes you better. So that just coach them hard. Coach Parent, Coach Parent loved us like we were his own kids, man.
Yeah,
in track,
really, man.
and
Definitely.
and that's he cared to ask questions. Hey, how you feeling? How you feel today? Blah blah.
Yep.
Are you okay? This workout. So every once in a while you got to ask kids, how do you feel? Are you okay? Earlier I saw you were a little down in the hallways or whatever.
They
but,
noticed. Yeah, they noticed.
and then Coach Williams, Junior Williams, and then Coach Grubbs, man. One thing I still do today, and it's more with my assistants. I don't know if you remember this, but Coach Grubbs was the head coach, but he didn't call the offense or the defense, and sometimes the head coach doesn't have to do everything, and that's one of my biggest takeaways from those dudes was let people coach.
Right.
There's 4 of us coaching softball at Coahoma, so I have 3 assistants, and after baseball, we have another guy come over, and man, just let them coach, let them do what they do, and sometimes the head coach doesn't have to be involved, do it all guy, And that's probably the biggest takeaway that I got from those guys, man. So,
Do you remember going against Loa, Peter, Smokey?
oh,
He said one of them was
I remember, one time I was a freshman, man, just playing scout team. They're like, "Hey, Orosco, get over there, cover Peter." Peter was a wide receiver.
yeah,
right
sometimes,
receiver.
yeah.
And I'm out there playing corner, and I don't know what to do. They showed me some picture, some card. I don't know what to do, so I'm having to cover this guy, and I think you were a junior or senior, and I'm trying to cover him, and he runs by me and just gives me one of these right in the face.
I think that was me.
So they go in the huddle and they come back to run another play, and he goes, "Damn, boy, you still smiling."
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you
think that
always
was
have
me,
a
man.
eye on
Yeah.
you. Still do. That's
going
good.
up against Tony, man, every day after practice, I'd have a bottle of Advil in my locker, man, because it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And it was pants every day. I don't know if you remember that. It was pants every day.
Yeah.
Everything.
We were running the toss, 18 toss, 19 toss. I was a
30 year.
scout team. And there's Daniel, and there was another guy. Was it Riley something?
Trent Riley.
Trent Riley, man.
Yeah.
Fullback, running back, just cut the crap out
Big
of me.
old dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those were good times, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And they make you tough,
Oh, yeah. So what is it that you have going on now?
Next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, June 13, 14, 15, we actually have a camp here at Cyclone.
Okay.
And
Okay, that's cool.
it's a big deal. It's for kids of all skill levels, whether your kid is burly starting out softball or they play travel, grades 4 through 10th or 11th grade,
Okay.
There's a lot of drills. After 15 years, I have a 3-ring binder full of drills, man, and I just write down, and I even do it with our girls there at Coahoma, and just a bunch of drills, man, that I want to show kids how to do right. Drills that they can take and do in their own backyard.
Right.
That's awesome.
Stuff that you may see this stuff on videos, but a lot of it is from championship teams. Because when I hear speaker speak, it's teams that have won state.
Right.
Okay.
But I just want to share that with the community. So if you haven't yet, sign up. Go to there's a bunch of flyers around social media, a Cyclone link. Sign your kid up. I promise you, you will learn something. Your kid will learn something that they don't know or they haven't done yet. It's the small stuff, but it all adds up.
Yo, man.
Yeah. So I know this is like the first year that they have all-stars for like 8U,
Uh-huh.
I think, or something here in Pecos, and my little cousin, she made it out there, so hopefully they've got her signed up to go out there with you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So, and part of it is I also signed up to, they're hosting All-Star games here.
Yeah.
Softball. I'm actually the umpire.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That way you can get some more booze.
So,
Inside joke.
So I got to put my skills to the test. So as much as I yell at the umpires, now it's my
Your
turn.
turn to get yelled at, right? Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
That's too awesome. Hey, how difficult is it, right? Like, how difficult is it to pretty much to win?
When winning is fun and all, man, but one of the things that you don't prepare for is sometimes how hard decisions are. In our sport, we have 14 girls that play softball, but only 9 can play. So how do you tell those other kids, or how do you break it to them, or how do you even decide that they're not, who plays?
Right.
And you can, we sit on this side of the table and we can, be armchair quarterbacks. Oh, wow, this girl, this girl. But when it comes down to it, man, and these kids, and it's hard. It's hard when every kid busts their butt because they all deserve to play,
Right.
but only
Right.
9 can play.
Yep.
That's a part that people don't really talk about is sometimes winning involves a lot of tough, difficult decisions with kids, conversations with parents, stuff people don't want to have, and it's not for everybody. So sometimes you feel a little lonely.
Hey, man,
when people
I'm gonna get tougher question. You ready?
let's hear it.
So can anyone coach a talented team, like an athletic team?
Skill wise, girls are talented. They're skill, right? But what you're coaching is you're coaching attitudes, you're coaching behaviors, you're coaching personalities, man. At the end of the day, these are kids, and kids sometimes show up and they don't want to do the drills. They don't want to go to practice. They're tired. They're hungry. They're sleepy. Man, at the end of the day, these are kids, man, and you got to get them to do something they don't want to do. And not all of them want to practice all the time. Sometimes we practice at 8 a.m.
Hey, I had a question, man. Do you think traveling team, is there a difference between students traveling
There's
teams
a
and
huge
players?
difference. There's a huge difference because, in our case, in the playoffs, the crowds get a little bit bigger. every week. They get a little bit bigger, and the noise just keeps getting louder and louder. When you go to these travel ball games in Midland, it's just the parents, grandparents in the stands. It ain't much to it, but I've had several girls say, "Man, this is a lot different than travel ball."
Yeah.
Now, travel ball also has its advantages. Depending on what teams you play and skill level, you can face some stiff competition. And sometimes our games are not as hard as travel ball games. But when you get in the playoffs and you get to Austin, the crowds are loud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
It's a big difference.
And it's fans too, right?
Oh yeah,
like fanatic fans.
Fanatics.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah, I bet so.
It's awesome, man.
I think I ran out. Hold on, I ran out.
I mean, so I'm thinking of I used to coach a boxing team out here, right? And I'm sure softball has some kind of similar situations where certain people can and can't play, right? So boxing, they're in amateur boxing, the kid can only fight someone his age,
right,
his weight, or her age, her weight, and then also now implemented is like talent level, or not talent level, but amounts of fights, right? So if it's somebody that's never fought, they're not allowed in the ring with someone with,
right,
I can't remember the rule, but it's like 20 plus.
Wow.
So they can't get in the ring
right,
with each other, right? Because you're protecting the new boxer,
right.
So I couldn't make parents understand, that I can't. Like, there's nothing I can do. I can say yes, please, and then the parents are willing to sign a waiver, but they can't. Like the association won't allow it. Like I know softball doesn't have something like that. It'll ban the kids from playing, but how hard is it to deal with the parents?
It's tough, especially it's hard because you see your kid and your kid's been playing since they were 6 or 7, right? But their skill level is not up there with the other kids that have more skill. And it can be a liability,
Yeah.
It's up to us, the coaches, to decide. I got a fantastic staff, Coach Renteria, Coach Lewis, Coach Upshaw. We really do make hard decisions together. Right. Which are the best 9 that can help us win this game? Mm-hmm. We love these kids, but sometimes your skill level is not there. And in the case of some of the freshman kids that come in that they think they can play, it's just hard because you don't want them to get hurt. In your case, you're protecting them from being hurt. And in our case, too, maybe you think you can stand in the box and face 65 miles an hour.
Right.
It's going to hurt if it hits you. So,
Definitely.
Damn.
But it's hard. It's hard convincing parents that sometimes, you think your kid's at a certain skill, but in our eyes, it's hard. It's hard to tell you they're not.
I'm kind of, so you said, y'all's decisions on the 9 that are going to play, like, did y'all switch out the 9 constantly throughout the year, or was it usually like the same 9, or was there a couple that moved out?
Right. Well, we only have 14 to pick from, right? And sometimes it was only 11. So we have you have your 5 that are always going to be there because of what they do. It's usually pitcher catcher because that's a skill. We don't have a lot of time to coach or teach, but they already have the experience. But other than that, you sit together and you're like, okay, which girl's hot? Which girl's been hitting? Which girl's been struggling? And what you do is you take the girls that have been struggling and you kind of give them like tutorials. Like you have them stay extra and you have them do separate drills. When you fail in school and you have to go to extra before school, after school, and that's what we do. And we take the girls that are struggling and we don't hide it, man. You're like, hey, girl, you're kind of 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. Okay, let's figure out why you're not hitting and let's try to fix it because if you fix that, it makes our team better.
Right?
We never make kids have to deal with something on their own. Yeah, we always deal with it together, and we try to get out because we're only as good as these kids are. So if these kids can get out of their slump, man, it only makes our team better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's better to have 15 that can hit than, than only 5, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
That's awesome,
crazy.
man.
That's good stuff.
What about your trick plays? Like, don't you have like any trick plays? Like when it comes to codes, like how do you tell the girls to steal? I think I know who are your. I think I know your.
You're on to me.
Yeah. I don't want to.
You've been scouting.
I don't want to expose you. I know one video I saw you. You were like wiping your sweat, and then I was like, man, that girl stole. Was that a trick? Was that one of your calls or what?
Yeah.
Una mosca was flying going like this.
That's funny you bring that up. And sometimes we have a lot of fast girls, and I'll tell you why here in a little bit. But sometimes, when we're facing a team that doesn't have a strong catcher, and there's no secret. It's just, hey, let's go.
I want
to run over there.
She ain't gonna get you. Yeah, she ain't gonna get you.
Yeah, she won't throw you out.
Yeah.
And I've already scouted his team. But one thing that's conducive to us winning, man, is multi sports. And I know people and people think, well, if I want my kid to be good at softball, we should do more softball.
Yeah.
But really, man, it's all competition.
Right.
All sports is competition
Right.
at all levels.
Yep.
The more you can compete, the more you can face hard things head on, man, the more better you're going to be as a well-rounded athlete, man. 6 of our girls were on relays in track.
Okay.
2 of them were state power lifters.
That's
Wow.
cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
One of them is a pole vaulter that almost made it to state.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
we got girls in other sports. Our starting center fielder was a point guard in basketball.
Really?
And we never tell them, hey, you only have to play
Right.
softball. No,
Right.
go be good at every other
Everything
sport.
else.
Yeah, go
Yeah, well,
get
that's-
better at
I mean,
competing.
Like most professional athletes, they're really good at all sports. It's
Right.
not like that's the only thing they're good
Yeah.
at, right? They're pretty good. They're
So
athletes.
so
right?
it all ties in, man, to having our JV too, because when softball starts, there's other sports happening: powerlifting, basketball. There's cheer tryouts. There's track. There's golf. Well, there's a bunch of sports happening when softball starts, man. So a lot of those JV kids, they do get varsity action early
Okay,
on because
okay.
they got to fill in for those girls that are at powerlifting or
Yeah.
track.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we tell those girls, don't worry about your spot. If you're in track, go to track. And next week when you come back and we have a softball game, you'll still have you're not going to lose your spot because you're running track.
Right.
You're not going to lose your spot because you're in powerlifting. No, man, we'll save your spot. In the meantime, these girls can also play.
Yeah, that's
Don't
good.
forget
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
JV went undefeated, so
Exactly.
they can
Yeah.
play too.
They can play.
I mean, so
Yeah.
in our reality, man, in the grand scheme of things, we have 27 kids from JV to varsity, 27, and at any point, any 9 or 10 can play varsity.
Ready.
Wow.
That's nice.
So like
luxury.
you have your 6A schools and you have your 5A schools. They have tryouts.
Uh-huh.
Does you guys have tryouts?
We
or y'all have
do,
enough
but we
girls that
don't,
you-
and
yeah.
that goes back to the skill level. I like 25 to 30 kids. If you're not in that 25 to 30, you can still come to practice, right? We're going to monitor it, make sure you're not in any harm's way, but we're not going to cut you. Because when you cut a kid, you say, well, get better and try again next year. Well, that kid's going to go home defeated, and they're
Yeah,
not going to
they're
get
not
better.
gonna wanna-
So let them get better with you.
Right.
Let them get better with you. And most of the time they do, but they don't, we don't give them a uniform. And they don't travel with us. They can come to home games.
Yeah.
But, you love them. But, man, it's hard to put a uniform on a kid that is a liability.
Oh yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
balls hurt. When you
Yeah.
get hit with the ball, it hurts.
Mhm.
If you,
Damn.
it
Yeah,
hurts.
definitely, man.
I'm just saying because I have my daughter tried out for volleyball, didn't make it. It didn't because they have tryouts over there, like in the 5A school. My
Right,
daughter who
definitely.
ran,
That's very
my
cool.
daughter wanted to play basketball. She didn't make it because of her height. So that's what I'm saying. They have tryouts.
You gotta,
And it's
you gotta fit certain
but
criteria. in bigger schools.
it's not like okay, still keep practicing with us so you can get better. Maybe before next year, you'll be on the team, or you can try out. But no, it's not. No, it's just like
They don't even want them there.
Yeah.
Smokey wanted to put a wig on and go try out.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
I
hey,
can still
hey.
play, coach.
I'd like to say
I
it's
wanna
funny,
win.
but in 2023, you never know.
Yeah.
no, you're not there. Tomando Bud Light.
Oh man. But have you ever had to like deal with parents like getting mad at you because their kid's not playing?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime a parent has a concern, and it's a valid one, parents never come and accuse you of something you haven't done. But they always want to know, hey, what does my kid need to do to be a starter?
Okay.
And then the answer is always going to be they need to hit harder, run faster, field better.
Right.
You need to hit, field, and throw.
Yeah.
So
That's the basics, right?
That's the
Get better.
basics.
Yep.
If the way we pick our team is we pick the best 9 hitters because you got to in our sport you got to hit the ball to
Yeah,
score.
that's offense, right?
Yeah, our defense doesn't score points, so
Yep.
you need offense, and then after that we go to fielders and or speed and then fielders. So, if your kids, man, and it always sucks when that 13th kid and that 14th kid, you got to tell them, hey, you're gonna have to be on JV because I know you're not gonna play on varsity. I know that.
Maybe
I
next
hate just in case players. We don't carry just in case.
Yeah.
Well, you're here just in case this one gets hurt. No, in the meantime, let them play JV.
Yeah.
Let them
Get
play
better.
JV.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
hard part, man. Is that you got to convince kids that you're the 13th one, but if we need somebody on varsity, you're going to be our first choice.
But what about okay? So let's say that person who was going to JV
Uh-huh.
is a senior. They're forced to be varsity, right?
Not forced. You just don't want a senior on JV because now they're taking somebody else's spot that's going to help you next year.
Like, for example, you can put that senior to JV.
There's no rule. There's no rule.
No,
against
there's no
it.
rule?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just more like a courtesy thing.
Got it.
You know, you can put a junior on.
Hey man,
JV.
I had a question. So going up, running to state.
No, wait. You got it?
No.
Okay.
Also, go like on your run to state, man. What team do you like feel was the hardest team to beat?
The hardest team to beat, there was actually two. It was a team from Wichita Falls, Holiday High School. The score was 1-0 up
Wow,
until
that
the
was very
seventh inning.
close.
Yeah, very close. Man, that's probably one of the best pitchers we saw. It wasn't fast, but it ball moves. You'd be surprised at what these softball girls can do with the ball, man. They make it move up, they make it move down and sideways. I mean, it's hard to hit a ball that moves.
Yeah.
And our distance is only 43 feet. You know, and in order to make a ball move, you got to put it on your fingertips and spin it. Like, just spin it hard in any direction. And that ball will move.
Wow, man.
Yeah, that was tough. And then the other team that was harder to beat was Bushland out of Amarillo. Man, they got girls. That a little bit, more stout than us.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, those girls can hit it a mile.
Let's go.
Hard.
Wow,
hard.
man.
Yeah.
Hard. So those were hard. One because of pitching and one because of hitting.
All right.
Wow, man. That's crazy. 1-0,
is crazy.
man. Imagine.
Yeah.
What was the
Nail
final score
biter.
on that game?
The Holiday game ended up being 4-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But, you know, it helps you because our first state game this year, the final score was 1-0. You know, and I feel like our girls were never nervous.
All right.
Okay,
You know.
so I got a question for you, man, and this is something that we talked about on another podcast. Did you ever watch the video of the incident that happened with that girl?
Oh, the McKinney.
Yeah, they got hit in the
Oh,
face.
yes.
What's your opinion on that?
Well,
Yeah.
see, it's a touchy subject because the rule says if you throw the ball to a base and the batter's in the way, somebody's out. Either the runner's out or the hitter's out. So by rule, you can do that, and if the umpire thinks the girl was in the way, there's going to be an out. You know,
Oh, okay.
but in this case, I don't see. Kids don't know rules. Kids don't know what they're
Yeah.
taught.
Right.
Right. So at some point, somebody told this girl, if somebody's stealing third, you throw it. And if you hit the batter, then you hit the batter, you know.
Okay.
But the thing that sucks about this case is that the girl was back. She was not in the way of the throw.
Baseline, right?
Yeah, she was
Oh.
not in the way, and she still got hit, man. So that's
Oh.
just unfortunate. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched that video quite a bit, and I've heard people talk about it, and I was like, man, I mean, yes, she was moving, so like you're saying,
Yes,
the rules say
interference.
whatever, but
Yeah.
she wasn't
Moving
moving
forward.
in the throwing
Correct.
lane.
She was
man.
moving out of the way.
Out of the way,
Yeah.
right? And
That's what I was.
She intentionally. threw
one
that
thing that
in.
makes it hard to watch to defend. One thing that makes it hard to defend is when the catcher hit the batter, there was no remorse. Like there was no, hey, let me check. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
yeah,
yeah.
No.
It was like,
Yeah.
When a kid
Yeah.
does something unintentional, man, kids are pure with their
Oh,
their
yeah.
actions.
Emotions,
You
yeah.
know, when something unintentional happens, they react. Hey, I'm sorry, my bad. This kid did not react in that way.
Just went and grabbed the ball. And
shouldn't have been there.
Yeah. Like, but
Yeah,
being a coach, you know, since you're a coach, that happened to you. Like, what is it that you know? I mean, you know the rules.
Yeah, I would.
So what do you tell the
immediately?
umpire?
I would go to the umpire and say, hey, you know what? Somebody needs to be ejected or at least warned, like or ejected.
Automatic.
Like I'm shooting for an ejection here. Either the kid needs to be gone or that coach needs to be gone. Somebody needs to leave because
Mhm.
that was not.
That was very
That,
intentional.
that was not within the fairness of the game.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sportsmanship. You know, you got to have sportsmanship.
Hey man, so like in the playoffs, it gets that heated, right?
Oh, yeah.
The competition level is like they're just. I mean, things like that. You think it could get out of hand real quick.
Oh, you know, back to the Holiday game, it was 1-0, and Hannah throws a pitch, an inside pitch, and it accidentally hits their hitter. It accidentally hits him, right? Hannah comes up to bat the next inning. Guess what happens?
You hit her.
Hannah gets
Wow.
Oh no.
Wow.
hit, and immediately I'm at the umpire, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, come on, man! We cannot have that.
Yeah.
We
Right.
cannot have that.
Right.
You're fixing to lose the game, and the
Yeah.
crowd is fixing to get into it.
Yeah.
The last thing you want as a coach and as an umpire is for the fans to get into it.
Yeah,
you know, because
Definitely.
especially in a 1-0 game,
I know.
you know.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that got me a little going.
Yeah.
Ah man, that's crazy.
Okay, so you got one? Got it?
Yeah, I got one. I got one. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
So does the team swing the newest bat every year?
And, you know what, man? This is crazy. A lot of people think that these girls, they need the newest bat, they need the newest this. I'll have you surprised. The two girls that hit the most home runs on our team, our pitcher and catcher, they use a DeMarini bat from like 2018.
All right.
Wow.
They use a bat that's about 5 or 6 years old.
So there you go.
Yeah,
It have to be the top
it
stuff.
doesn't.
It just-
No.
Doesn't-
And that's
keep
what
that with
Doesn't
anything.
matter.
It doesn't have to be the newest bat. These girls swing in the 5 or 6 year old bats, and as a matter of fact, they like that bat so much, man, that their parents go to like Facebook Market or Craigslist, and they try to find because they don't make them.
Yeah.
That you have to find used bats from back then.
Let me see this question. So I heard rumors, right? Yo tengo orejas por todos lados, right? So I heard rumors that when Hannah hit that home run for you guys to be, I think 4-2 or 4-1.
4-1.
Do you think that team regretted for not walking her? Because I think they walked her twice.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Nah, just let's pitch it to her." And you think they regret it?
1,000%, man. Her first at bat, she hits it to the wall, double, and then she gets walked twice. And that third time she comes up, man, I'm looking at the other dugout. Hannah's she's standing in the box, but she's looking at their dugout.
Are they gonna walk me?
And their coach comes over, and he's walking the dugout to talk to his assistant because his assistant was the one calling pitches. And the coach knew, man, not to do it. As a coach, you have instincts, you have intuitions. You know that you know what you should do and not do as a coach. And he knew he wasn't supposed to pitch her. When he walked over there, man, he started looking at that assistant coach, and he wanted reassurance. He wanted the assistant to say, "No, let's walk her." But the assistant said, "No, we pitch. Let's pitch. Let's pitch." And he said, "Okay." And three pitches later, the ball's in the construction zone.
Let's go.
Yeah. That's a big mistake.
Big mistake, you know. But it turned out for us. The one thing that was hard as a coach, you know, my heart broke for that guy because he knew better.
Yeah.
He knew, man. He knew. He's done his homework. He knew. But as a Coahoma guy on the Coahoma side, I'm glad he pitched to her.
Yes.
Right.
I pitch to the fence. Because I'll be hearing, get pitched to her, get pitched to her. Because I watched the whole game.
Let her hit.
Yeah, let her hit. Yeah.
I guess they wanted to see the pitcher and her.
Yeah, because in the thing I was watching where the people on the radio, there's people on the radio, and they don't watch the game, but you only get to see the people who are like holding the mics.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, there's chanting, let her hit, let her hit. Come on, let her hit. Don't be and later on, boom, home run." And they're right. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I was in the other team. I would have been like, you know, man, you don't do that.
You know,
into the parents.
my watch actually gave me 2 alerts that day. One alert was a noise alert. You know, when she hit that home run, I got a noise alert on my watch that it was very loud.
Okay.
And then, man, it was a roar like no other. And then earlier in the game, I had got an alert that my heart rate was too high.
I got a question I want to ask you. Yeah. I want to ask you this question, man. If there was an opportunity to go coach college level, would you?
No. And I'll tell you why. Recruiting. A lot of things these college coaches do, man, is they recruit. You have to travel to people's houses and you have to recruit. You got to sell your school to these kids, man. You know, I'm not a good seller. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I'm driving so many miles to go recruit a kid that might not even come to my school. And then the next day I got to travel more miles to go recruit another kid. You know, you just spend all your time recruiting away from your house, away from your family. I'm a homebody. I like to be at home.
Okay.
You know, I mean, yeah, we're going to practice and I'm going to go scout my opponents, but I like to be at home as much as I can.
Yeah.
So,
But you don't think the pay wouldn't like say, hey, man, it's more money?
Well, you don't know what your opponents are recruiting the same kid. Everybody wants the same kid, right? So what are your opponents? Are your opponents outselling you?
I think he means Euro money, like in your pocket.
Oh, money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
like more in this college. I mean, they'll pay more.
I mean, money doesn't make happiness. You know, for the sake of I'm okay.
Do you feel like
right now you're probably at 200,000, but and then you go to college, you're at $500,000. You know.
I like
like, do you feel like they wouldn't give you like other helpers with that? Like they go do all that, and then you just come in.
It depends on the level of school.
Yeah, it depends
you know?
on the level. That head coach makes a big difference.
Yeah, right? Just show up in the end.
Players like Nick Saban shows up, like, I want to play with him.
You know, Nick Saban still has to get in a plane and a car and go recruit. Yeah. He still has to go. I mean, Deion Sanders does it. You've seen him. You know, and but winning, I guess it would help to win. You know, winning is also a great recruiter. So if you're in college and you win, I mean, kids gravitate to that.
Yeah, I was about to say,
once you still those certain players, right? That coach got to get there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good questions. I like you.
Winning, right? How hard is it to win?
How hard is it to win? Winning is more than just showing up the day of. You know what I'm saying? In order to win, you have to be prepared, man. You have to be 100% prepared for all the batters you're going to face, for the pitcher you're going to face. People think that I can just show up and win. Well, I mean, you got to prepare for your opponent. You know, and every week it's a different opponent. So there's a lot that goes into winning. You know, and then it goes back to the difficult conversations that you got to have with parents, man.
The 3 losses, who did you lose to?
Our first loss was against Lubbock Monterey, a 5A school.
Do you expect that to win?
Oh,
Or
of
did you? Or
course.
did you? No. But did you like? Did you say we can beat this team?
Oh, well,
and then
absolutely.
and then bam.
Hey man, so what kind of like motivational speeches do you give the girls after a big loss, like something that you feel like a game they could have won?
Yeah, well, after that first one, man, that Lubbock Monterey, after that first loss, our motto this year had been win one more game, because we fell short in the championship. We got second, and now we got to win one more game in order to be champions. And I remember after that game, we didn't look like we wanted to win one more. We did not look like that we were hungry. There was no hunger. We were flat, man. We were flat. After the game, I think it was only a 4-2 game. It was still close, right? But I wasn't happy with the way we looked. We did not look like we wanted to be champions. So we got in the outfield, man, and I said, hey, we struck out this many times, and we made this many errors. So guess what we fixing to do? We fixing to run poles. We fixing to run. And we ran. And I told them, I said, look, I love every single one of you, but my job is to get you ready, and I didn't do my job today.
Lubbock Monterey, what is it? 4A, 5A?
Monterey is a 5A. And then we also lost to
So your speech wasn't like your motivation speech.
Oh, no.
It wasn't like it's because we lost to a 5A.
No.
I'm
I'm
not
not-
make excuses, man.
that'd
You
be
guys,
like
the game's a
selling
game.
yourself short.
Yeah.
I'm not a big motivation guy, like hype them up, let them get ready to run through a wall. I'm not a big motivation. I'm a prepare guy. If we prepare, we don't need motivation. We
Right.
are prepared.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The confidence is there, so it's like we don't need the other stuff.
Yeah.
Just go play the game. We know what we can do, and
Who was
let's
our
win.
second loss? It was Monterey, and then the
Paso.
third one was
El Paso. Yeah.
El Paso Eastwood. Oh my gosh, man! And then El Paso, and then Rogers in a tournament in Waco.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we used to live in El Paso. He used to, when we were small,
Yeah.
he used to live in Favens, and I used to live in Isleta. And, well, he's my cousin, if you guys don't know. And our dads used to hang out together, and they would take us. They would take us, like, when we were kids. So my dad would take us to Fabian's, where he used to live, and we will be hanging out while our dad were drinking, right? we'll be like in the trees, and nomás siendo, just being cousins, I guess, being kids, So that's why I say, like, I know where the next loss was against El Paso.
Yeah, you knew that one.
Always you trip.
Yeah, pero el otro, I think the other one was Abilene, no?
No, it was Rogers from Waco area.
Man.
Hey, so I'm not sure if we answered it or not, but how did y'all get so good? Right, like the whole JV and varsity, just good. Like, how
That's a
did y'all
good
get
question, man. And it started 7 years ago. 7 years ago, when I first got the job at Coahoma, I was the 5th coach in 5 years. I was the 5th one. Every year before me, they had a new coach, and there was no stability. And one thing that really they were needing was just some stability, right? And just kind of change it up. One thing that I feel like makes us good is, of course, the other sports, right? But I'm big on, do not think you're better than somebody else. We're going to practice varsity and JV kids together. We're going to put different skill sets together. We're going to put a girl that's really, really good with a girl that's kind of almost there. Let's share tips.
Yep.
Let's make each other better. My first year, we got kicked off in the first round. Second year, we made it to the second round. Third year, we made it to the third. I mean, if you really want to get a little bit better, man, every year it was just a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit better, and then next thing you know, we're here. But it all goes back to how your team is a reflection of you, right? And I'm big on, do not put other people down. We don't have the same skill level, but that doesn't mean we have to be jerks to each other.
Right.
Let's be nice. Let's be friendly. Let's help each other out, because at the end of the day, we're in the same uniform.
Okay.
We're only as good as each other. I mean, I tell them, I'm big on imagination. Imagine a chain that's 10 feet long, but right in the middle, it's got a broken chain link.
Mm-hmm.
How good is that chain?
It's gonna break.
It's gonna break. Not gonna use it. And
Yeah.
chain is worthless.
Yeah.
So don't be that weak link. Help us become stronger.
I don't mean to cut you off, man, but we're fixing to stop.
So, what else?
Conmigo no necesitabas pinche NyQuil. Ya te ponía a dormir.
The only story I ever have for Smokey is when he won district. So Smokey was a good runner.
Yeah.
He was a good
man.
runner.
We're on
Hey, man.
district and what?
That's cross country.
Cross country.
All right,
She
let's
all
go.
state.
They don't
too.
know. They don't know that.
She,
I guess not, right?
no, they don't know.
Your mom.
So Smokey Lonjas used to be Smokey Flaco.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're close now. We got 3 to go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Just letting y'all know.
yeah, we're getting close.
Okay,
to this,
but
man.
before, I mean, don't think you got the only trophies. We got a trophy too, Lord. Bring our trophy out. Where's your yeah, kickball.
That's a
Kickball. We got
Let's
first
go.
play alive.
Hey, I know we're almost done, man. I just got one more thing that I've been thinking about is what do you do, throughout the school year, like throughout the summer and throughout the school year before softball actually starts? Like, what are y'all doing?
Well, I can't coach them outside of the season. So there's parents involved that they find fall ball games during football. They practice with them.
Okay.
I mean, it is football year round. The only thing is a school employee cannot be involved, and I'm not involved, man. I just make sure they're not trashing the field or staying out too late. But
Maybe that was one of the questions that I saw a little earlier. Is like, what's it like, with the state caliber team? Like, what are the parents like?
and it's good and bad. They're involved, but they mean well, and at the end of the day, they just want you to treat their kid fair.
Right.
One of the things as a head coach is you got your starters, man, but you better make sure they all have a chance, because those kids that are not starters, they work their butts off too. So
Man, so I feel pressure because we're almost out of time. But like, man, I've been around athletes, that some damn good athletes, right?
Yeah.
And that team, doesn't really go too far or do anything, right? Is that because of the team, or is that because of the coaching?
honestly, it's a lot. It's a little bit of both, man. But you never want to waste a kid's season. You never
Right.
do. Fortunately, a lot of kids wait too long. It's my senior year. I'm going to give it my all. Well, why didn't you give it your all the last 3 years?
Yeah.
That's freshman.
And then that's one of the cultures that I try to create at Coahoma is let's not waste a year, and let's not talk about next year. Let's talk about now and how we can get ready now.
That's right. Hey guys, well with that, man, we're running out of time already, man. I want to thank you, Alex, for coming on, man. I appreciate it. It means the world to us, man.
Really, really.
And
Congratulations again,
yeah,
man.
congratulations,
man.
I'm happy
Yeah,
for
I
you.
can't
guys
wait
again.
to
I
see
like
you
see
next year
Pecos
with another
succeed.
one, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I love seeing Pecos succeed, man.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, man. We're having a camp, a softball camp, and that's all it is just what do you call it? Succeed. Don't if you're good at something, man, share it.
Right.
Share it. Don't
Awesome.
don't waste it. Don't hold it to yourself. Don't hide it. And show other kids. Show
Right.
other kids how to do things.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you, man.
definitely.
Appreciate it.
Hey.
Definitely.
One more thing before we finish.
got
Look,
one
I want you to challenge Canyon High Cougars. That's where my daughters go to school. They want state on the 5A school.
Wow.
Get them.
Yeah.
Get them.
Get them.
With that being said, guys,
Yeah.
Well, I've
We're
been
running
saying
out
I'm
of
moving to
time, man.
Coahoma. My daughters, everything.
go follow Alex, man.
Call Alex.
Hit him,
Aloha here, man.
It's your boy Pistol Pete.
Smokey Lonjas.
Northside Alex.
That's good.
Oh, what's up?
Thanks,
God bless you.
guys. Thanks for
Bye-bye.
joining us.